Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Janice Robinson. I wear a couple of hats. I'm Vice President for Diversity and Community Affairs and Associate Professor of Higher Education. But I just have to tell you, I'm just looking out at, I guess, our alumni, right? And it really, come on, let me hear it, let me hear it, let me hear it. And it really makes my heart soar to have you here and to have your families here. This is a relaxed gathering. It's become a wonderful tradition at Teachers College. But I also want to say, I would like our faculty and our staff who are here together to just stand up. Come on, if you can. Stand up, faculty. All the faculty, staff, they're taking their time to be here. There you go. All right. Look around, and I see folk up there as well. Okay. So, no speeches from me. I have the easy job. Before we start, I'd like to introduce Jasmine Nira Valencia Hooper, clinical psychology master's, and she's going to lead us in the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And it's in your booklet for those of you who may have forgotten the words. Enjoy.
Hi, everyone. All right, everyone. So those who know, feel free to sing along. If you don't, just look on with the lyrics, okay? All right. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let us resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. That was great. Well, welcome and congratulations to our graduates. I want to say there are lots of events in these 2 or 3 days, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and this is really one that I look forward to the most. So thank you for being here. I think I've shaken most of your hands today, so my hand's still all right, and I appreciate that. So that was really great. I also want to acknowledge Sarita Brown, our TC medalist, who's here, and those of you who were there this afternoon heard such a wonderful speech. So thank you so much, really. It's just a pleasure to have you here, and I'm really nice that you came to, especially given the theme of your talk, that you came to this celebration of ours. So I can only imagine the pride and joy felt today by the families on hand to witness this major milestone. Families have every reason to be proud. Their faith, encouragement, support have been rewarded. Now, this year's celebration is very special to me because I am winding up my first year as the president of Teachers College, and I have no doubt that everything associated with this, my first convocation, will be particularly special for me, and that I will remember this for the rest of my life. So given that this is my favorite activity within it and my first year, this is something that I will remember and really appreciate, being able to participate with you. So graduates, you're pioneers about to embark on exciting professional and personal journeys that perhaps you could never have imagined. Take a moment to reflect on your accomplishment. and what earning an advanced degree from Columbia University's Teachers College must mean to your family and what it means to you. Now savor this moment because you've earned it. And now let's give you a big round of applause for that. I think we need to give a big round of applause particularly to your families. So thank you so much. You know you wouldn't be here without them. So I'd like to share a brief reflection on what your accomplishments mean to Teachers College. As first-generation scholars, you have brought unique, valuable, diverse perspectives and life experiences to your work, to your relationships with classmates, professors, mentors, and to our staff. Your contributions to our teaching, research, and practice enterprise have been invaluable. So I just want to emphasize what an important part of the community you are and how much you actually add to it. I mean, I think our institution would be much, poorer without your presence here. So we certainly believe in the power of education to understand and help solve many of society's more complex and pressing problems. Your families instilled that reverence for education in you, not only to better yourselves through education, but also to use the knowledge, tools, and skills you have gained at TC to help bring about a better world. Now, you'll hear throughout today's ceremony letters of thanks from students to their parents, partners, and other family members. You'll hear students recall the people who were always there to listen, day or night, who were always ready to provide wise counsel and moral support, and who always reminded them that they have what it takes to prevail and to make a difference. And if what I've heard about last year's event holds true this time around, there will be many damp eyes in the house. But I would like to leave you with the question that the late poet Mary Oliver once suggested we ask ourselves: what is the gift that I should bring to the world? What is the life that I should live? Graduates, we already have seen who you are and what you can accomplish. We know you possess many gifts to become innovators, scholars, educators, healers, and leaders who will bring honor to your professions and create pathways to flourish for those whose lives you will touch. So I have three parting hopes for all of you. First, I hope each and every one of you will stay closely connected with Teachers College. I certainly hope you will make TC your first option for professional and continuing advanced education. Those of you going on who have a master's and want to go into a PhD, we have some excellent PhD programs here. And I definitely hope you can give whatever you can of your time and talent to make the TC experience for future students at least as enjoyable and rewarding as it was for you, if not better. My second hope is that you will take the fullest advantage of your TC education and experience, both to build on society's successes and to correct its flaws. So the future is filled with hope and opportunity for everyone. And finally, perhaps most important, I hope you'll have many occasions for feeling the kind of pride and joy that your families feel for you today. So I extend my heartfelt congratulations to everyone in this room today. Thank you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Haney Yoon is in.
It's a surprise.
Oh, well, all right.
You, but she's dope.
All right.
Talk to her later.
Okay. Haney, what's up? All right, so you're going
I'm
to
going to
introduce
talk. I'll talk a little bit.
All right, okay.
Can I use your remarks to introduce her?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
There was something so cool. She said I wanted to say it.
Oh no,
but
I'll let
can-
you say. I'll let
can
you say, and
you
I'll
can
stand
say it.
next to you.
Okay,
as
you
you
do
say
that.
it.
This is what I was really looking forward to saying this, Haiti, because she was a former school teacher and became interested in conducting research about young children because, and this is the quote, a lot of kids are labeled as underperforming, but when we look at their practices outside of what is deemed normal, they're doing lots of really sophisticated things. And we can capture that through studies of play. So I think that's great. I really like that. I'm going to remember that all the time. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? You're doing great? You look great. You look beautiful. Let's give it up for President Thomas Bailey. Let's give him another round of applause. I want to say good evening, or is it afternoon? Good afternoon, and buenas tardes. Before I continue, I want to also acknowledge that we are standing on stolen land, and that we are on the land of the Lenni Lenape peoples. And if we can take a moment of silence to honor the indigenous folks who were here before us. And now let's give a hearty congratulations for all of you. Right. Thank you. So graduates, my name is Yolanda Sealy Ruiz, and I am, thank you. I feel blessed and honored to be an associate professor in English education here at TC, but this is about all of you tonight and all of your families. So I want to say again, congratulations to you, congratulations to all of you who have supported them for being here. I greet you in love. I greet you in thanks, and I am overwhelmed and moved by all of this. You know, in an era where it is becoming more challenging for students to obtain a college degree and pay for it, right? The feat of these graduates, what you all have accomplished, the fact that you've gotten your advanced degree from Teachers College, Columbia University is something that is worth applauding over and over and over again. And to you, friends and family and loved ones, you need to be applauded, for without you, this group of first-generation scholars would not have made it. In your hearts, you know this to be true. You know this to be true because you can name the sacrifices that you have made for them to get to this point. And graduates, you know this to be true because you know the love that they have for you, the belief that they have in you, the financial and the emotional support has been, their financial and emotional support has been the wind beneath your wings. So indeed, education seeks to level the playing field and create a balance of opportunities for those who bear the brunt of inequity and inequality. Education, love, and sacrifice of family helped me to become the first generation PhD in my family and get this beautiful purple robe. Right? So it is my goal indeed that I will not be the last in my family to do so. And when I reflect on educational spaces, and particularly college campuses, I think specifically about the protests by Black students across the country, historically and even now. I also think about the students in Puerto Rico last year, amidst all that the island endured, walked out of their college campuses, refusing to attend classes as an act of resistance to what was happening on the island of Puerto Rico. I think about the high school students in Charlottesville and in my hometown of the Bronx, who are protesting the racist incidents in their school districts and speaking against the pervasive inequities in their schools. And even before they have reached college, these students understand the power of fighting for an equal education. And as much as they understand the power of an equal education, they are also willing to disrupt their education, to put their education on the line, to bring about change for their peers, for themselves, and for the generations that they will never meet. So it has always been students of color and their co-conspirators on college campuses where resistance to the status quo has brought about change. So those of you here at TC, as you hold on to your degrees and you exit out into the world, you may or may not have battled those same type of wars that these students have been in, but you are going out, degree in hand, into a society that needs you, a society that needs your resistance to the status quo, a society that needs your vision for a world that perhaps you've not yet seen. And with your degree in hand and your resistance in your heart and the hope that you hold, you will bring about change to institutions and to our society, particularly in education and healthcare and psychology. That's the three strands, y'all here, you know that, right? That's TC. And so you will bring about change for children who look like you and other children who are in the struggle to thrive. And as Bettina Love tells us, we want to do more than survive. We wish to thrive. So communities who have resisted oppression and inequity have always been community focused. We have never really been individualistic. We have been socially driven and we work collectively for the betterment of ourselves and for our humanity. And I want to remind you more than anything to love one another. When someone in your community is successful, bask in that as a community achievement. When they are down, lift them up. Remind them that the struggle has prepared us, that we come from greatness wrapped in fortitude, and that through this greatness and this fortitude, you will be able to thrive. They will be able to thrive. What was that? Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Whatever you said is beautiful, right? And always remember your responsibility to each other, to our communities, and to the world that we now call home. You are as real as you are magical. And we thank you for the magic that you brought to TC. First generation magic is in the way that you find joy. It is the way that you find joy in the most difficult circumstances. First generation magic is the way that you think deeply about your communities as you strive to advance conditions in our world. First generation magic, it's the way that you look at each other without saying a word, and you just know. First generation magic is the way you know and experience the world. First generation magic knows it's not just who you are, but who your friends are, who helps you along the way. First generation magic is in every move that you make. First generation magic is wanting more for others than you want for yourselves. You are first generation magic. And so thank you for this magic that you have given to all of us. It has been a pleasure. For those of you who have taken the class with me, it has been an honor to teach you, and you have taught me in return. In closing, I want to once again salute you graduates and salute your families, and thank you in advance for all of the great work that you will do in the communities that you are a part of. Indeed, you have left your mark on TC. We are grateful. We are better because you have been with us. Thank you, and we love you. So now it is my job to sit down while Haney Yoon comes up. Dr. Haney Yoon, let's give her a round of applause.
Okay, so I want everybody to try to speak after Dr. Yolanda Sealy-Ruiz talks and see how nerve-wracking it is. And I want to start by just sharing a story, but first, congratulations to the graduates, families, extended families, chosen families, and ancestors on this very important day, especially as first-generation college students. And if you're like me, you have spent many years trying to prove your self-worth, calm the self-doubts, ignore and confront all the haters, and learn whose opinions and evaluations really matter. And so I wanted to start by talking about my second grade report card. Okay, so I was quiet growing up, and in the comment section of my second grade report card, it reads, Haney needs to be encouraged to continue to participate in discussions and answer questions. Haney needs to participate in oral work, particularly in reading, social studies, and science, so basically everything. Her written work is fine. In fact, this was a predictable part of my report card growing up in most of elementary school. My lack of voice was usually coupled with comments about how I worked hard, how much I improved, how neat my handwriting was, and how delightful I am to have in class. And of course, I can't help but notice that neatness, cooperation, compliance, and diligence are all tropes about Asian Americans. So I was hyper aware of difference, as I was one of the few Asian children attending my K-5 elementary school. I was placed in an ESL pull-out program from kindergarten through third grade, even though I think I was proficient in both English and Korean. As a child, I was embarrassed by atypical cultural ways that seemed so far away from the norm. My parents didn't speak English very well. My dad would sometimes pick me up in his mailman uniform, which I was constantly embarrassed by. My parents never I told myself I wasn't going to cry. This is not happening. My parents never chaperoned field trips. My father worked during the day. My mother worked at nights. They rarely came to school events. They hardly talked to my teachers because of language barriers. They were not PTA president or in charge of bake sales or organizing class parties. And while some children at school want their families, their cultures, and their experiences to be visible, I often wanted invisibility. And at school, my experience felt out of place, and my tendency was to keep things hidden from my peers and teachers. School was not a space where I wanted to be vulnerable or open. School was a place where I kept my head down, did my work, and tried my best to go unnoticed, trying desperately to fit in. I spent so much time and energy trying to erase my differences and make excuses for my culture, and I think many of us will continue to make to try to navigate the tensions between cultural preservation and cultural progress, right? Keeping your history and identities intact while still moving forward with the hopes of a better, richer, fuller life that your parents and those who came before you worked so hard for and in many cases died for. So in this process, I want to recognize the sacrifices on all of our behalf, the very real struggles and tensions that happen within our own families, the cultural rituals that made our homes distinct and unique, the abundance, even if not materially, that filled corners and spaces, the seemingly weird cultural practices that you always made excuses about. But somewhere in the midst of this, somebody, a figurative report card maybe, told us that we need to participate more and be comfortable with trying to be normal, right? So I want to end with my parents immigrated to the US with little money, no family, and perhaps the hopes of an American dream. They worked blue-collar jobs most of their lives. Both are retired from the US Postal Service, which might be obsolete very soon, but also attempted to start several small businesses along the way. My mom eats Korean food basically 3 times a day, and occasionally, and I'm not trying to say this to rip off Beyonce, but we would go to Red Lobster on special occasions. It was expensive and fancy, and it wasn't Korean. So every time we went, it was special. So despite economic struggles, my parents actually took us on road trips. We had a tent that we stayed in across several different campgrounds across the US, and later we graduated to an RV that we drove across the country. We actually did go to Disney World, but not on a Disney cruise or a resort or even a low-key hotel, but in an RV, stayed at a campground, and in my eyes, it was still, and this is like not a coincidence, it was still magical, right? Because, I mean, Disney is magic to young kids. I would be lying, though, if I said our lives were always magical. We definitely had tough times, but in the struggles and tensions that overtake most of us because we are immigrants, minorities, and outsiders, it's easy to forget our magic because we walk into rooms and can't help but wonder if you're the minority hire, the representative for person of color, that one from the uneducated family that makes for a good story. And people remind us how special we are because we made it, or give us looks that we're supposed to be the hope of our race, class, gender, identity, citizenship. James Baldwin once said, "I walk into a room and everyone there is terribly proud of himself because I managed to get to that room." But I encourage each of you to walk into rooms knowing that you belong there. Or as Yolanda Seeley Ruiz always reminds me, and I can't see her because I'm so short, she always reminds me, this is our time. You are not conditional. You are not here to make other people feel better about their progress. You do not exist for other people's benefit, but you just basically are here. So I honor all of you who are here and have arrived, and I hope this helps you center your story to rewrite comments on report cards on what other people think of you, and that you revel in the magic that comes with being different. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm going to end with letters and remarks that students have written to their families and to just this space. And so I'll just start by reading comments from you out there. My time at TC was enriched by many brilliant, challenging, and supportive faculty, administrators, staff, and students. Honorary mentions to the community I fostered while at TC, which include professors and mentors, to Dr. Sandel, Dr. Athan, Dr. Baranowski, Ms. Veronica Holly, and Ms. Sandra Overa. My time at TC would not have been the same without your courses, guidance, and support. Special thanks to the Rural Student Group, Black Student Network, Higher and Post-Secondary Education Association, and the Coalition of Latinx Scholars for amazing fellowship and programming that fostered community and created spaces for all voices. Being first gen in this space means more to me than receiving a degree. It is the opportunity to break barriers and be a role model to those who may feel that higher education is not possible. For me, being a first-generation graduate, and in fact, first woman in my extended family to graduate, is a really big deal because it means I have fulfilled my mother's wish and her sacrifice had meanings. So at this moment, I want to say thank you, Mom, for believing in me when no one else had and continuing to love and support me. Yes, it's my degree, my diploma, but the overall goal and the intention is more than that. It's for you, me, my nieces and nephews, my future students, the town, Grandma Dixie, Auntie Mug, all relatives. This is for everyone who believed in me, who doubted me, who hoped I'd fail. For those who say this isn't possible given where I'm from. For the kids who go to school just because, but don't know how far they want to go. The degree is for everyone I've met along the way who has believed in my mission and my potential to change the world. To all those who were there for me when I needed it. I couldn't have done this without you. I can't thank you all enough. We did it. Where we come from, image is everything. My only goal is to paint images of resilience, dedication, and love for those who need it more than ever. To my families and friends, it took a village, and I'm grateful to have you as mine. And to Harlem, I am everything that I am because you housed me. Thank you. Okay. So I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Mark Gooden, Professor of Education Leadership, and just all around great guy. So here's my friend and colleague, Dr. Mark Gooden.
Beautiful. Thank you, Haney. So I'm Mark Gooden. I'm a professor in organization and leadership in the Education Leadership Program. And I just want to get it out there early on that I want to be like Yolanda Seeley Ruiz and Haney Yoon when I grow up. So I got something to strive for. Excellent. So I want to certainly say, and I'll say this in a couple of ways, but first and foremost, you may not tire of hearing this, but congratulations, graduates. Congratulations. And also, congratulations to parents, significant others, husbands, wives, children, aunts, uncles, mama, grandma, mima, whatever, those folks who have done what they can to really support you and get you here, because I know there were some sacrifices, and we appreciate you loaning them to us for this period of time. But I just want to acknowledge those folks who have supported these graduates. So if you fit in any of those categories, if I missed one, I apologize, but let's just acknowledge them, please. Thank you. Excellent. So the focus of my remarks is certainly the quotes of the graduates, but I wanted to just share a few quotes with you before I get into that. One is by Malcolm X, and it is, "Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today." Now you got your passport, right? Are you prepared for the future? Ooh, you sound unsure. Let me try that again. Are you prepared for the future? Excellent, excellent. So one other quote I'll share, and it really harkens back to what I've just said a moment ago, and this is an African proverb, and it says essentially that if I seem tall, it is because I stand upon the shoulders of giants. I stand upon the shoulders of giants. Just a quick story about my own education. I was one of those kids in class who, when Haney was talking about the report card, it connected very well with me that I was the one who got that remark on there who, he does well generally. He's very bright. However, the one where it says, he talks a bit much in class. Yeah, y'all, some of y'all got that too, right? He completes his work and distracts others, right? And they just didn't know at that time that I was really preparing to be a professor, right? So, people may have said some negative things or something that didn't seem quite positive, or maybe they threw a little shade, but they just didn't know that you were preparing to get your degree from Teachers College, Columbia University. They just didn't know, all right? Excellent. So we forgive them for that, right? And my final quote is really from Maya Angelou. And some of you, I know you've heard this one before, but it's always one I have to really remind myself as I'm going through my education journey, as we struggle. We heard earlier, with many of us as people of color in the academy struggle with the imposter syndrome. All right, we struggle with that going through classes, but we have to remember that there were a number of folks who really put in the time. The folks who were here, the people who are no longer here with us, and even those folks who came many, many years before us. And the quote's from Maya Angelou's poem, and it says, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. So as long as we keep that ahead of us, as long as we remember why we're getting this education, as long as we remember who we are in support of and why we came to this space or this place, we can really have a real strong pushback to that imposter syndrome. We can have a real strong pushback to those doubters, haters. Those folks are not going to go away because you have your degree. Some people like to say more levels, more devils, right? So be ready for that. Be ready for that, right? We know that when you are really moving forward and moving into that space of excellence, some people just can't deal with it. But remember, that's between them and their self-esteem. That has nothing to do with you, all right? All right, so the focus of my remarks is really on quotes from you. So I want to start with the first one, and it says, "See, it's a couple of spirits every generation that wasn't supposed to make it out but to code the matrix. And when they get to speak, it's like a coded language. Reminds us of our strength and all the stolen greatness. No, he's a genius. He just can't claim it because they left him no platforms to explain it. He's frustrated, so he gets faded. But deep down inside, you know you can't fade him. How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity meets preparation? Dedication, hard work, plus patience. Nipsey Hussle." All of us are in the gutter, but some of us are looking towards the stars. To my granny and my mama, thank you for exposing me to the struggle and teaching me how to hustle. HP, stand up. 94124. I am always thankful to my family and friends. Without their love and encouragement, I would not have been able to see this through to the end. I thank my family, specifically my mother, for all her support. Because of her, I am here. All right now. Thanks so much for my friends who accompanied me on this fantastic study journey. Thanks so much for this whole community to promote my growth with caring and loving people. Thank you that you are here with me. Celebrating this graduation is celebrating the value of each drop of love and care I have received from all the marvelous people that crossed my path so far. In a 42 years lifetime, they are so numerous that it is as impossible to write everyone's name as it is not to cherish each of their contributions. Thank you for your patience and support while you traveled on this journey with me. Your belief in me inspired me when the road was tough. It always amazes me how believing in someone can get a person so far in life. My family believes in me, and because of that, I was able to achieve what they had set out for me to do in life. Education is important. Knowledge is valuable. Intuition is sound, and truth brings value to different trials and circumstance. Stay true to yourself, your value, and be persistent. I had a wonderful experience at TC. The caliber of my professors and classmates, combined with the strong curriculum and the vibrant environment of New York City, all contributed to a magnificent experience. Last but not least, congratulations to my colleagues of the 2019 cohort. We did it. Again, congratulations, graduates. It's such an honor to be in your presence. And I am going to move on to the next part of the program, which is the Master's Student Address. And I'll be inviting Diana Cervantes and Paola Munoz Rojas to the stage. I think that's right. Yes, please welcome them. You all look so lovely.
Hace 4 años, el grupo de estudiantes latinos llamados Coalition de Latinx Scholars decidieron en establecer una ceremonia de graduación especial para estudiantes de diversas identidades, incluyendo a estudiantes de primera generación. Ellos reconocieron que hacía falta un evento para celebrar a ciertos estudiantes, dado que estadísticamente el número de estudiantes de grupos minoritarios en las universidades es mucho más pequeño que el de los estudiantes blancos. De hecho, en el año 2016, solo 2% de estudiantes que recibieron el doctorado fueron latinos. Esta estadística refleja lo mucho que tenemos que trabajar para asegurar que los latinos sigan sobresaliendo en la academia. Aunque no hay una sola definición del término primera generación, les voy a explicar lo que eso significa para mí. Ser estudiante de primera generación significa que soy la primera nieta en mi familia de nacer en los Estados Unidos. Significa que yo soy la primera en mi familia de obtener un bachillerato y hoy también he sido la primera en obtener una maestría. Thank you. También significa que, como muchos de mis compañeros, he tenido que aprender cómo navegar un sistema de educación que no entiende ni aprecia mi cultura mexicana y menos mi cultura indígena. Dado sistema no reconoce los valores que mis padres me han inculcado. Nosotros como estudiantes que pertenecemos a los grupos minoritarios somos menospreciados y constantemente nos enfrentamos al racismo. El sistema educacional es uno que no fue diseñado para estudiantes como yo, hija de inmigrantes y estudiantes de bajos ingresos. Ser estudiante de primera generación significa que yo sola tuve que buscar la manera de formar mi camino hacia el éxito. así como lo hicieron mis padres, quienes llegaron a este país de Oaxaca, México, hace 74 años, sin nada más que su dignidad y esperanza. A pesar de todo esto, mis compañeros y yo hemos luchado para seguir resistiendo este mismo sistema. Hoy, presentes tenemos a 115 estudiantes que han logrado superar muchos desafíos. Compañeros, desde el fondo de mi corazón los felicito y les deseo lo mejor en sus futuras carreras. No olviden ayudar a los demás para que también logren llegar a esta ceremonia algún día. Mom, Dad, thank you. Ustedes llegaron a este país sin nada, pero aún me lo dieron todo. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Paola Muñoz Rojas.
El refrán dice that diamonds are made under intense pressure. But there are days when the heavens themselves never felt so dense. In the Bronx, everyone and their mothers look just like me, and I look exactly like them. Los niñitos on my block carry pounds of gorgeously kinky hair upon their heads, up until they were old enough to take the heat lashed on by Dominican salons. An act of alchemy where Las Hermanas del Calor transforms baby girl's frizzy crown into silk. Pelo malo, dice tu mamá, to which baby girl responds, pero mami, mi pelo nunca se ha portado mal. I beg to differ. Her pelo is mean as hell because baby girl's greña swallowed up the salonist's entire comb and coughed it back up into pieces as an act of resistance. Yeah. On Sunday mornings, los vecinos would bless you with 20 Hail Marys and 2 sloppy kisses to the cheek. As a child, I'd pay close attention to las vecinas' sharp adobo-stained nails. With their right hand, they were ready to snatch anyone that came for their life. And with their left, they mastered the art of measuring the right amount sazon to add to their special paella de mariscos, an act of love and resistance against the bland as hell gringo food that had been introduced by the neo-colonialists gentrifying mi barrio. The men in my community leave home at 4 p.m., returning to their daughters by 4 in the morning. I barely recognize my father in the mornings. He grows older every night. Perhaps they bring back a nickel or two in their pockets. Despite that, they're always rich enough to hand us our Sour Patch Kids, just as they promised. My father's arms, sore from holding a taxi wheel for hours, are still strong enough to pick up both his daughters and fling them across his shoulders so that they might be able to reach for something that he was never able to reach himself. Our dreams are now his wishes. Families crossed entire oceans, far beyond the comfort of native soil beneath their feet, dream after dream deferred, at the slight hope that one day, their great-great-granddaughter will actually be just that, great. I'd like to hope that they didn't look back when they dropped their names in the ocean in exchange for new ones. I can only imagine how difficult it must have been for them to reintroduce themselves. At Columbia, people do not look like my vecinos. Whereas I would have been praised for touching the hot paella and learning that it burns, failure doesn't work in the same way within institutions of higher education. Failure haunts me because my education is a gamble. I could lose it all if it were led to my untreated anxiety, PTSD, and depression. My mental illness, political in and of itself, as it intersects with my Latinidad, multiraciality, white Afro-Indigenous poverty, atheism, and womanhood. All these things keep me tethered to my bed during mornings when the world feels far too heavy for my face to carry. My financial security ultimately is contingent upon a certain grade, and at times I feel reduced to digits. There are days when I can do more than just wake up, though. There are days when I don't give a hell, and I let the hood flow out of me within oppressive academic spaces. I disrupt respectability and what it means to be educated. I can be academic, hood, and feminista all at once. And just as I expect for the ways in which I have and continue to be educated, to be honored within academic spaces, I also expect for this world to honor the experiences and physical presences of my father, mi tía, my sister, my friends, my community, y mi mamá en el cielo que me educó a mí. The village of people who raised me have never made me more proud of being Dominican, especially as I decolonize my identity and reclaim my Afro-Indigenous narratives. I love that my hair is political and that it has a mind of its own, just like mi mamá and my father. I love that luchando is a habit because I've witnessed it being done over and over and over again from my own community. Indeed, it does take a village to raise a child. And more than that, I love who I am. I've grown to love myself, and this is a revolutionary act in and of itself. Every day, I see myself grow, perhaps not vertically, along with everyone else around me, back home. This is the place that my father had us reach for, and there are entire stratospheres that I have yet to see for myself. I only regret that I cannot bring him and my aunt along with me sometimes so that they may witness for themselves the fruit of their labor. The world has grown 3 times its size, and it feels heavier than ever before, but I hope it doesn't. Despite the tremendous weight I carry now, I could not imagine a greater honor. I will proudly carry my pueblo along with me. Because of everything that I am, the whispered prayers and narratives of the Dominican diaspora in the South Bronx, esto nuevo mío es mío para reclamar. This new world is mine to reclaim. Thank you. And now for our faculty address, Dr. Anna Newman. Please give a round of applause.
Hello, everyone. First of all, to all the graduates in here, thank you for the honor of letting me learn with you and from you. It always means the world, and I am always so grateful to realize where we have been together. Many of you in here, or at least some of you, know me as Professor Newman. Some of you know me as Anna, but my name originally is Hannah. I was born 7 years after my father's liberation from Auschwitz and Buchenwald concentration camps, and 7 years after my mother's liberation from Shargorod, a Ukrainian labor camp where, as a teenager, she was incarcerated for 4 years. I am the daughter of exile and genocide. I am the daughter of refugees. My father from Slovakia and my mother from Romania to the state of Israel, where I was born and spent my earliest years. At age 6, I, with my family, boarded a ship for America, carrying only hope, moving to several dusty Texas border towns, settling in Brownsville at the tip of South Texas. I am an immigrant. Moving to Texas, I spoke only Yiddish, my home language, and Hebrew, the language of Israeli schools, struggling hard to pick up the English and the Spanish of my new world. I am a non-native speaker of English. I am also a first-generation high school graduate, and I am a first-generation recipient of a college degree. As Jews in a steeply anti-Semitic Europe, my parents were denied education. Graduating from Brownsville High School, I enrolled in Texas Southmost College, a 2-year institution, and later completed work toward my BA at the University of Texas in Austin. I am proudly a community college student and also a transfer student. Before the word transfer student existed. That I went on to earn a master's degree and later a PhD, and that I have held 2 full professorships at 2 prestigious universities, was all so above and beyond my parents' wildest imaginings. I can still see their eyes. I've dedicated my life and learning to all they shared in words and love, and all that in suffering they could not put into words. I admit I struggled. I fell many times. I had no map, no light, no guide. Just risk, lots of fear, plenty of confusion. Failure too. But I did learn a lot, and 3 things I will share with you today. First, I learned that light and love are everywhere, even in the darkest of times. But you have to go look for them, and you have to dare to find them. Second, I learned of strength, that it too is not bestowed. It's in me, and it's in you too. And thus, my job and your job is to bring that strength to life, and then to let it lead. And third, I learned that often plans and goals collapse. Failure does happen, but dreams, when they're for the good, never really die. Often they return to blossom, and in the most surprising of ways. Of love, strength, and dreams. And now our graduates speak. I am here because of my father, who taught me to love books. This is from our graduates. My grandmother, who taught me to love the local library. My Chicago community, who believed in me so much, I feel I can achieve anything. Love y'all! I'm so grateful to be here to represent my country and my family. I have learned here how loving and honest friendships materialize amid anxiety and depression. I could not have asked for better people to cry and laugh with and to love. My professors, you saw me through tribulation and grief. You offered outstanding critique and direction through my dissertation. I could not have done this without my mentors, professors, teachers, my significant other. I dedicate my achievement to those who believed in me when I could not see the possibilities before me. Special thanks to my Latinx community for your unconditional support, yay, for teaching me the value of grit, hard work, dedication, and most important, joy. And finally, Teachers College, to me, is like Hogwarts is to Harry Potter. Thank you. I am now honored to introduce as our next speaker, Professor Carmen Martinez Roldan from our program in bilingual bicultural education. Oh, there you are. Thank you. Thank you for your words. Queridos graduandos y familiares, dear graduates and relatives, congratulations. Thanks to the Coalition of Latino Scholars for inviting me to share this incredible moment with you all. I was also a first-generation scholar, although I can't say that at my graduation I really grasped what it meant. I started understanding better the implications of my academic and professional journey when I saw how some Puerto Ricans at home and some Latinos here in the United States saw my success as their success. I have learned that our journey, how we embrace the good and not so great moments, means a lot to others and gives hopes to others. And that our actions, as small as they can be, even if we don't see them as transforming the world, are actually impacting the world. We are part of a collective that goes back in time and projects itself into the future. And this sense of history and solidarity gives more significance to our stories. We are not alone, and we wouldn't be here without the support of many. In my case, I come from a working-class family background. As a young woman, my mother worked in New York in garment factories, sewing pieces of clothes all day. She returned to Puerto Rico and married my father, a humble man who repaired TVs. 3 years later, they adopted me. My mother stayed at home taking care of me and my sister, and I still don't understand how they managed to raise us with so few resources and no other financial support. So my Puerto Rican parents' involvement in school was, as in the case of many minoritized students in the United States, different to what mainstream middle-class education and culture expects. I don't remember having a bed study time, but I do remember that for my parents, education was a priority. Their parental involvement was ensuring that we didn't miss classes and that we completed our school homework. And today, with no bed study time experience, I am a literacy researcher in bilingual context. Thank you. As a Teachers College professor, I want to thank you all because you have contributed greatly to make TC a better place, where the exchange of ideas should also honor diversity of voices and experiences. Even if you don't realize it, the questions you asked in your courses, the examples you offered, the topics you chose for projects, all made a difference and had an impact that we can't measure today, but that it is in no way less transformative. You made our work more interesting, more purposeful, and you give us so much hope for a future where social justice and equality can prevail. And for that, I thank you all. So now, let's continue hearing your voices from your letters. My family taught me compassion, empathy, ambition, and tenacity because throughout my life, I always felt aware of how people treated me and my family differently due to race, ethnicity, gender, language, culture, abilities, socioeconomic status, and education level. Because of this treatment, I knew how important it is to speak out as a role model for my family, my friends, and the larger communities as a Southeast Asian American, Vietnamese American, and Filipino American. Le agradezco a Dios por haberme otorgado una familia maravillosa, quienes han creído en mí siempre, dándome ejemplos de superación, humildad y sacrificio, enseñándome a valorar todo lo que tengo. Por ustedes y para ustedes, mami, gracias por todos tus sacrificios y el gran amor que siempre me das. Espero que este esfuerzo les ilumine sus caras con orgullo. Somos doctores porque este doctorado es de ustedes. Sin mi familia, mis amigos, mis mentores, mis maestros y Dios, nada de lo que he logrado sería posible. No puedo agradecerles lo suficiente por todo el amor y el apoyo que me han dado en mi vida. Thank you for telling me every day, study hard, mija. Your faith in me has kept me going through difficult times. When I graduate, I won't be walking that stage alone. What I will have accomplished isn't what demands a standing ovation, but what my family and comunidad from the South Bronx, the Dominican diaspora that continues to live and breathe, my papi, tía, hermanita, y en especial mi madre en el cielo, siempre guiándome, what they have done for us to finally take that work together, to finally graduate, and to reap all of the unimaginable rewards and benefits that having this title will present to me. For me, to have a better life is nothing short of magic. We survived, and after all, it's only just the beginning. Papi y mami, esto es para ustedes. Los amo. Él es bueno cada día más. Hoy es un día grande para mí, pero más que todo es un gran día para ustedes. Hoy damos un paso adelante y cumplimos una gran meta que solamente soñábamos. Hoy les dedico este gran logro a ustedes por todo lo que han sacrificado. Ama y APA, hoy nos graduamos. Esta licenciatura se la dedico a mis padres. Ellos llegaron a este país sin nada, pero aún me lo dieron todo. Que viva la raza. And that's it. And now let's receive doctoral student Marielle Bouquet.
What's up, everybody? Hey! I see some beautiful faces in the crowd. It's so good to see y'all. This is my favorite celebration. I graduate today. Okay? All right. Class of 2019, where y'all at? I want to hear y'all. Woo! Yeah! Ven pa' acá, vengan. Todito, pa' allá, pa' allá, pa' allá, pa' allá, pa' allá, pa' allá. This right here is my tribe. Okay. So we just got our doctorate in counseling psychology. Somos doctores, todos nosotros. I knew my dad was gonna cry. Vente para acá, para que te vean. Yo quiero que todo el mundazo te vea. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna read because my memory is long. So first of all, I'd like to thank the Creator. Thank you, God, for having me here. I almost failed out of TC my first year. So I thank God for being here. And it wasn't because of me, it's just because you know. So I want to first thank you, Juan Carlos, for inviting me to this celebration, and Janice and the TC and the faculty here. And I like to just, I'm going to be shouting out a lot of people, so just bear with me because there's a lot of people that contributed to this. This takes a village, and so I want to make sure that you are all honored. Yoli, Queen. Hey, I love you. I love you. You are seen, Queen. I see you. To my tribe, my extended family, Santos and Diana, I love you so much. And my mentors, Liz, Marie Maville, Dr. Marie Maville, the reason why I am at Teachers College, my advisor and my confidant. I appreciate you so much. Dinelia, te amo con todo mi corazón. Daryl, my posse, Court, Lucy, Ed, Mark, Morgan, I see you in the crowd. I love y'all. Joe, my spirit sisters, Maxie, Jen, Ed. Okay, so now I'm going to get to my speech. So to our family and friends, can we give them a roaring, just resounding cheer? Woo! We love y'all. 6 years I have spent as a student behind these walls, and for all of those 6 years, I have heard this familiar story echoed in the mouths of the students that find themselves being first generation in their family and within this level of education. It has been the story of the common struggle. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Tell it. It's a story of isolation, of feeling like you don't have a guide to help you navigate the inner workings of the ivory tower. It is a story of immense pressure we place on ourselves to be the first in our families to quote unquote make it. It is a story of pain mixed with pride, of injustice mixed with fearlessness, but most of all, it is a story of triumph. You see, we were planted in this institution for a reason. It is a reason that perhaps transcends your understanding, and it certainly transcends mine. I came to TC not knowing what an Ivy League institution was. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, Brick City in the house. Anybody from, yeah, okay. I didn't know what the words ivory tower meant, the elite and elitist aspects of it, and more so what it meant for my overall psyche, well-being, and sense of belongingness. I didn't know that being a working-class Black Dominican immigrant in an ivory tower was going to be synonymous with loneliness, sadness, and failure. That I had to fight the erroneous ingrained belief that I made it here because Columbia needed to meet a quota, and not because I embodied the hardworking spirit of my parents to make it here by my own merit. Thank you. I had to fight my longtime companion, Mr. Imposter Syndrome, or as I like to call it, the silencer, because it silences us and casts us to the shadows of institutions and organizations, left to carry the burden of our own self-doubt. They leave people within minoritized populations that are foreign to the world of academia, easily impressioned by the microaggressions and macro injustices. And they make us feel undeserving of the degrees that we are here to receive today. The very definition of imposter is the following: a person who pretends to be someone else in order to deceive others, especially for fraudulent gain. Well, let me tell you a thing or two about this so-called imposter syndrome y'all had me thinking and believing that was a part of me. It is a mechanism that controls our minds from its very greatness. And imposter syndrome is the only thing in any of us that is fraudulent. This merit we receive today, this merit that our families cross borders and seas for, is justified, deserved, and well-earned. We work twice as hard to get here, and la fiesta, the party, we will be throwing will be twice as long. You better believe it. Okay? And this story of feeling like an imposter syndrome is not isolated to me. Okay? You see, being in psychology means that you're everybody's therapist. So any psychology folks in the room, y'all hear me. So, I mean, I can't even tell you how many free sessions I done gave out in this institution. Shoot. In the hidden corners where students of color felt safe to spill out their pain. I'm going to just let y'all know I'm coming back to collect some checks. Because Sally Mae's coming for me, so I'm coming for y'all. Okay? All right. For all those years, I heard the same story with little variation echoed in these walls. We came out of here with a degree that is attached to pain and doubt. Well, this year I'm challenging you to attach triumph, not pain, to your degree. Because you deserve to be here. You are not a fraud. You are the minds that will push these institutions of higher learning forward. You see, for those of us first-generation folks who live under the perpetual lie that we don't belong, we felt like we've been dug in the dirt. And as a Mexican proverb so beautifully proclaims, they tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. That's right. Can we say that together? Say it with me. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Tell it. We are now birthing the dream that has been planted. So as you stand here planted, rooting yourself in that dirt, take hold, because it is now growing season. Okay? It is now the moment to show this world what you're made of. And whether you grow to be a willow tree or an oak tree or a mango tree or my papi's favorite, an avocado tree, rest assured that you will be beautiful, tall, and magical and phenomenal. Phenomenal woman, that's me. And phenomenal are all of you. We are phenomenal because look around you, we come from phenomenal people. We are rooted in greatness. So take this degree and instead of receiving it with the pain, receive it with victory in your spirit. For this is our university as much as it is anyone else's. Many of our family members came here to fulfill our dreams. They fought long and hard for us to be here. And us graduating is our way of saying we didn't come here to play with y'all. We came to win. Oh, all right. Y'all know. It is the season of proclaiming that we belong, taking back our confidence. We are the dream keepers, the dream builders, the dream keepers. I urge you to live by the words of the great disruptor and artist James Baldwin. The world is before you, and you need not take it or leave it as when you came in. To our families, our village, our ancestors, para nuestra familia, nuestro pueblo, nuestros ancestros. Esta meta es para ustedes. Los graduados son los que tomaron esta maestría y este doctorado. Pero ustedes son los verdaderos campeones y merecedores de este gran momento. Our degrees are marked with our names, but you are the real MVPs, families, and friends of this journey. You are the most deserving of this moment. Mami querida, mi negra bella, mi papito lindo, mi Ita, my right lung, a recent lung transplant recipient and survivor. The real MVP, and I was a nurse and a doctor at the same time, okay? I just thank you for every breath that you take. I love you. Aiden, you are my inspiration, my mini-me. You're gonna rock this world. To my rock, Esther, mi titi Inda, mi papi Tibo, Tony, Mama Tutuna, Mama Tingo, Dominican Revolutionary. The future, Dr. Lisette Matos, Jamal, my great love. Gracias por su valor, por sus esfuerzos. Gracias por cruzar mares para que yo pueda proclamar que soy doctora Mariel Eunice Chal de Buque Pérez. Thank you. With a cocked hat, because that's how we do. Okay? To our families, thank you for crossing seas and terrains so that we could proclaim that we are the Teachers College graduates of 2019. Because of you, we can. Because of you, we are. And because of you, we will. Congratulations to us all. Juntos pudimos. Thank you. All righty. We would like to hear more from our faculty and also from the stories of all of the graduates. So I'd like to present to you Dr. Amina Tawasil. Thank you very much. Congratulations and God bless.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amina Tawasil. I am a lecturer in the Anthropology and Education program. I also graduated from that program in 2013. I'm so happy to be here. Back then, we didn't have this kind of celebration, and imposter syndrome was in the air for a lot of us. So I prepared something, but I don't have the pointers for you to take away from, so take away what you can. I am a Muslim from the Sulu archipelago. I'm from the Tausug indigenous tribe, born to a father whose father was a headman of a fishing village. To get to my village today, one would have to take a 27-hour flight from here to Manila, and another day of land and sea travel. The Tausug, a word that means people of the current, are known for their domination of the South Seas. They had established an Islamic sultanate and launched piratical raids against Spanish colonial settlements for 500 years, well up until the United States created the Philippine Commonwealth in 1935. My mother comes from a wealthy Catholic Filipino family that is also part Spanish, but fought against Spanish colonization. If you're familiar with the history of the Philippines, having parents coming from both the North and the South is almost a guarantee for a life of contradiction. For generations, Filipinos from the North, like my mother, read from history books that described the Moros, Muslims from the southern Philippines, like my father, as savages with tails like monkeys. But actually, my childhood was full of great stories, like my great-grandfather, Panglima Hassan, who led some 4,000 Moro warriors in an attack on the American fort on the island of Sulu. In 1972, civil war broke out between the North and the South. Because of this war, my sister and I rarely attended school until we migrated to California in 1979. My father had been applying for jobs as a busboy, as a messenger, a doorman, prior to our arrival in San Francisco. He told my mother stories of being denied service at restaurants and being called chink or gook. My father came from a family with a long history of resistance against colonial forces. But in a San Francisco of 1979, my father was a brown man with slanted eyes who feigned knowing karate moves on the sidewalks of San Francisco to protect himself. I'm eternally grateful that my parents brought me here to this moment. Language has been symbolic for me. My sister and I were 2 of 3 people of color in our elementary school in Sunnyvale, California, now called the Silicon Valley. It was rough. I learned to speak English by sitting next to our stereo speaker every day. After school, listening to 92.3 KSJO, a hard rock radio station. And this was inspired by the first time I wanted to make friends. I approached a girl, she was an English speaker, and I asked her in a Filipino accent, "Will you be my friend?" And she turned around and gave me the middle finger. So that motivated me. I said, I really need to learn some language of communication. So every day from that day, I sat in front of a radio station and listened to the DJ. And for a long while, as a 3rd grader, I spoke English like a DJ. So fast forward, I now speak 4 languages. My tribal language, which I disregarded because I really felt like it's not a language. But I learned later that no, I'm proud of this. And one being Persian. I lived in Iran for about 18 months and I did my dissertation field work there. I have 3 graduate degrees from 2 Ivy League institutions, TC being one of them. The first from my village, the first in my family. But what I want to share here tonight is about another language that I have yet to figure out, the language of privilege and power. I am perpetually uneasy between my parents' struggle for bringing us here and my supposed task of finding some meaning in my life or making meaning out of freedom as a first generation. As the years pass, I become more and more weary of the possibility that perhaps this idea of self-actualization that is supposed to be on me, my responsibility, as the universalized norm that I'm supposed to aspire for, comes from the same ideology that justified the colonization of so-called lesser peoples like mine. That somehow those who are not interested in finding the meaning in their lives are lesser than me and must be shown the light. I am vexed in ways more than my parents ever were. As a first-generation college graduate, I'm today occupied with questions more than before. Most often, finding insightful answers from my students here at Teachers College. Some of them are here tonight. So thank you very much to all of you. I've learned so much from you, and once again, congratulations. Thank you. I would now like to read thank you letters from students. Thank you, Abu and Ami, for your continuous love and support. I'm grateful to my siblings, Jairus, Tabitha, and Michelle, for their honest prayers. Thank you, Sabahat and Salman Bai, for everything. Lael and Zara, thank you for brightening up my life. Kevin, you are awesome. Thanks for your love and courage. Thank you, Daddy John, Nano, Dada John, and Nana Ji. I know you are all smiling down from heaven. Thank you, God, for an amazing life. You, Almighty, gave me strength to complete my journey. Amen. Thank you for bringing my dreams to reality. Thank you for trusting me always. Thank you for your unwavering support and belief in me. Thank you for keeping me in your prayers, for your kind words and encouragement along the way. They have sustained me throughout this journey. My success is our shared success. To God be the glory. Thank you for your financial and emotional support. You inspire me to strive for greatness every day, and I'm happy to say that I now carry 2 degrees. Thank you to my partner for helping me in this journey. You're truly wonderful. Shout out to my guinea pigs, children, Emma and Hope, and to my ferret, Michael the ferret. Thank you for your unconditional support throughout my PhD program. I would not have been able to achieve this academic milestone without all of you cheering me on over the last 4 years. Thank you for supporting me these past 3 years while I earned my master's. The love and help you provided me encouraged me to keep going when I thought I should give up. Thanks be to God, our Blessed Mother Mary, and to all of you that have made this dream a reality. Thanks to my ma, pa, and my taco. The hardest choices require the strongest will, and I've learned that everything is possible. I could not have done this without the love and support of my Superman and family. I would not be here if it were not for the entire village that supported me through this process. Me making it here is a testament to my mentors, colleagues, and TC family that inspired me to be better. For that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you. So let's give them all a round of applause. I would now like to invite Dr. Christopher Emding to the podium. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So I have been charged with reading the names of the graduates so that we can celebrate them and their families. However, and I know y'all been hearing a lot of speeches thus far, you know, you can't have me last at the joint and not have anything to say at all. So I will share some words if that's okay. The first thing I want to share is this. If you look at the program and look at all the graduates and all the presenters, you will find that 3 out of 11 of the speakers this evening have been from the borough of the Bronx. That's about 27.27% of the population, which only goes to support my theory that the Bronx will save the world. So that just has to be said. You know what I mean? The X, been throwing the X's up before Wakanda. So that's first. Second, there's been this resounding theme throughout all the conversations around the challenges or the impact of imposter syndrome on the graduates and even some of the faculty. And my theory has always been that we collectively have an antidote to imposter syndrome through the concept and construct of being ratchetdemic. I have always told folks that to be ratchetdemic is that brilliant merging of the ratchet and the academic. For those who are not familiar with the construct of the ratchet and who may perceive that to be a mechanical device, ratchet within urban communities is the exemplification of all negative characteristics associated with marginalized groups that may mean they have a mode of communicating or engaging that are not respectable. Your ratchet friend speaks a little louder, has a little bit more color, has a little bit more flowers on their graduation cap, has a little tilt in their graduation gown. There are all these things that give us our magic. And imposter syndrome requires that you give up those things in pursuit of what is perceived to be academic. Once we recognize that our first generationness, our ratchetness, is actually a gift that those who do not have that experience can never possess, we start realizing really quickly that they're the ones who should feel like imposters. The absence of the magic of your uniqueness, your Islamic identity, your hood identity, your Caribbean identity, your Latinx identity, that magic is what makes you special as long as you merge that with being academic. Sitting here today having graduated from one of the top institutions in the world in education means that you've been qualified to hold on to the academic identity. The minute you hold on to that concurrently with your ratchetness, there is an immediate antidote to imposter syndrome. You ain't got to be worried about that no more. Through your ratchetdemic identity, you are delivered. And thirdly, prior to naming the names, I want us to look at this idea of celebrating equity, inclusion, and empowerment and hold on to that beyond this event, but as you go out into the world. But do not celebrate equity if equity means that you're the one person in the room who represents equity. We do not just celebrate equity, we demand it. When we talk about inclusion, do not celebrate inclusion if inclusion is simply a blanket to hide the concept of assimilation. You do not go to a place and want to be included if they cannot include you on your own terms. Inclusion is not a synonym. Inclusion is not a synonym. Inclusion is not a synonym for respectability and acceptance by power wielders. And finally, celebrating empowerment is a daily enterprise, a daily exercise. Realize that you are empowered by virtue of your existence alone. Your degree has got you here, but your degree won't save you. What you need to be empowered by is the family that brought you to this place. Do not be empowered by this gown. Y'all, celebrate the gown, but this don't empower you. You're empowered by the folks who brought you to be where you are today. Just one more thing, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to read these, I promise. The final thing is this, and this is, advice specifically to the graduates. We're going to celebrate with the families, but I want to give y'all some advice that I didn't get when I got this degree, coming from where I'm from, that I had to learn the hard way, and that I hope you will carry with you today as you go forward. And it is that in the world of academia or the world writ large, you will always encounter three types of people. And you have to know how to deal with each of those people for the sake of your survival. The first group are builders. The builder will come to you and may oftentimes critique you. And it will say things to you that may hurt your feelings. It might hurt your pride. It might hurt your sense of self. And you have to be able to understand that it's not about the emotion that's generated within you and what they say. You have to look past that emotion and look at their intention. If somebody comes to you and says something to you that hurts your feelings a little bit, and you can see that there's love in what's being said, accept it, reflect on it, build on it, and grow from it. Always pay attention to those around you who are builders. The second is a hater. Visibility, a degree, the fact that you are celebrating who you are, your acceptance into worlds that you had not even imagined you could be in. Once you walk into those spaces, you will have people who have the same credentials you do, without the life experience you do, without the magic you do, and by virtue of the magic you have, they will hate on you. And you have to understand that haters don't deserve your energy. A builder you listen to closely, you reflect on, and you grow from. A hater you ignore. It's the hardest thing to do in the world, to ignore a hater. But it's the one thing that pains them the most. When you walk with your swag intact, despite all they say about you, it kills their spirit and elevates your consciousness. Listen to a builder. Ignore a hater. And the last group is just suckers. And suckers is everywhere, B. But let me define them for you. Suckers are folks who will critique your very existence. Suckers are folks who fundamentally are opposed to immigrant voice. They're intentionally paternalistic. They're intentionally misogynistic. They're speaking directly about something that is how you made up yourself. Always have time to shut down a sucker. Utilize your degree from TC as a sword to wield against the force of a sucker. The fact that you have it should not just be empty. It is a tool for you to be able to shut down a sucker. So in closing, pay attention to a builder. See past the emotion and see their intention. Ignore a hater, because they will come. And use your degree to shut down any sucker that comes across your path. And with that, I am charged with calling out the names of the graduates. Please ensure that you turn up for each of the graduates. This is the part of the program where ratchetness is accepted. You got horns, use those. So we celebrate the graduates and their families. Dante Jennings. That's a big brother and a mother right there. Christy Strongman. Y'all ain't shouting for Christy like she be okay, Christy, your name says it all. Strong man, strong woman. Jamesia Trinell. Okay, dust your shoulders off, sis. All right. Ashley Ogwo. That's a very particular type of turn up. If you guys didn't understand that, that is a Nigerian turn up. It is very unique. Okay. Theresa Guerrero. Go ahead, Theresa. Chuan Ma. Chuan, where you at? Come on now. These how you know people are going to do great things in the world, when they got mad last names. Larilyn Patterson Parms Ford. What? Gangster. Jasmine Nira Hooper. Go ahead, Jasmine. Okay. Robert Louis Charles. Rafaela Espinal. Okay. She point back. She pointed at you. Point back. Okay. Caitlin R. Lewis. Lalith Lashman. All right. Fan Win. Good, Don, celebrate, okay? I love this one because the student is just graduating, but they entered their name with their degree. It says John E. Williams, PhD. Don't get it twisted. Okay? Yes, yes. Regina Brown. Regina, where you at? All right. Marty Hernandez. Yes. Omar Rodriguez Esparza. That's the 3 names again. It just sounds important. Zhao Zhen Yang. Anansa Benbow. Ashley Sapon. I see you, Ashley. Stephanie Caballero. Or Caballero, my bad. Tatiana Webb. Roxana J. Flores Velasco. Better put all your names on that card. That's right. Daisy Garcia. Candace Cunningham. Eliza Eckstein. Colin Edward. Colin got the G Unit chain on too. It's very important. Michelle Burris. I think Michelle's family got the loudest cheer so far. I don't know. Okay. Ramon Carranza Banuelos. I see you, Ramon. Sasha Parment. Sasha Parchment. Nicole Fox. Yes, yes. Now they win. Nancy Araceli Alfaro. S. Adria Perry. Andrew Flatguard. Andrew, that is not acceptable. He gave me the little. Andrew Flatguard. Okay. Janeth Ruvalcaba. April Leon Ortiz. Diana Cervantes Martinez. Beautiful speech. Maretta Lawan Hodges. Hair on fleek. Shaharzar Hussein. Shiru Feng. Janae Willis. Leslie Williams. Throw that. Talk that talk. Okay. Kayosamara McPhee. Pamela Janao Reyes. Janae Harris. Okay, Janae. Christine Harding. Alice Carrion. Pooja Carr. Anna Urea. Xiaojin Liu. Jaquita Gray. Yes. Beyonce hair flips and all. Charmin Hussein. Paola Munoz Rojas. Better throw that X up. Yes, okay. Janaea Joyner. My heart, Marielle Bouquet. Juanita Morris. Juanita Morris. Ryan Hata. Effie Sao. Crystal Thornbrook. Y'all getting tired? No? I'm still turned. You better be turned too. We got some names on here. Shall I define turn? No? You got it? Okay. Lindsay McKenzie. Okay. Natasia Flood. That felt like a flood. Okay. Carolina Varela. Sierra West Williams. Carrie-Ann Simone Maria Sejour. Last but certainly not least, Kumo Masehe. I ain't get your card, sis. What's your name, sis? All right, now, as is customary, I think right now I want all the graduates to stand, please. I want graduates to turn towards their families, please. And just clap for them. Now, attendees, I know I was the one who invoked the ratchet, so please forgive me. Right now, we'll have all the graduates walk out. Families, please wait for them all to walk out. And then after that, we can continue our celebrations together. Miami me lo